The last thing to do with scheduling that I think is necessary for basic usage is deleting jobs. So it could be that you submit a job or many jobs and you realize all of a sudden that those jobs are going to fail because set some parameter incorrectly, happens, and you want to delete them. You can use QDEL and the job ID to delete those jobs. Now, I don't have any jobs in the queue at the moment, but I can rerun the Q sub for the hello world, and I would do QDEL. I would grab the job ID and run QDEL. Now, this job is very quick, so it's a bad example here, but the reason I'm getting this message is because, of course, my job already exited. It already ran. There's the job ID. You can see we already have output for it. So it runs almost immediately if there's a node available. But in the case that you need to actually delete a job, you would run QDEL and the job ID. The last thing I wanted to just drop in here at the end is this PBS cheat sheet. So at the end of the PBS document, or the scheduler document in our getting started, there's a cheat sheet of user commands that you can use to get a lot of different information. For instance, qstat-q is going to print out all the queue information. If I go back to the terminal and I run that, you can see all the various queues that are running, numbers of jobs that are on there. You can get your job history. This is useful if you're trying to figure out what happened to jobs that ran. So if I go back to this job ID, I can do qstat-x and find out about that job, even though it's already exited. Whereas if I just do qstat-u and my username, it's not going to print any of my jobs unless they're in the queue or running. So history is a good way to find out information. Let's see. There's a lot of really useful stuff in here. Some things like reservations, finding out what reservations are going on. This can be helpful if you put your job in the queue and for some odd reason it's not running. And you're like, why is my job not running? There's no other jobs ahead of me, and there are plenty of nodes open. It could be that there's a reservation about to start. And so you can check that here. And then these are all the various Q sub command line options that you can use for changing the way your job works. You can build dependency trees and such. These are the environment variables for PBS. So have a look through these that are useful to be aware of, and they'll make your life easier.